Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, wonderful. So you can see I'm still not quite set up. It's a start. Okay, just looking around. Hang on. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to forex.today. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Oops. Don't click that button. Wow, I clicked every wrong button you can click. Hang on. Now I got to get the screen back up. Share your screen. Doesn't want to do it. Yay. All right, so let me finish this. Let's try to click the one right button. There we go. Hello, my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. You're a trader, we're a broker, for lack of a better word. We're a big, giant carrying organization. We care about you. We also execute your trades very, very quickly and at very competitive spreads. We have very good customer service. And we care. I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday here at forex.today. This Friday, however, I'm at FX Street for Trade Non-Farm Payrolls Live, getting close to my 12th year of doing that monthly webinar. So I'm here to earn your respect and your loyalty, and you show that by opening an account at Traders Way. So even just to open a demo, out of common courtesy, please visit tradersway.com ASAP. Now I got to try to share my screen again. Okay, launch the software. Good. And yeah, did it work out? Yeah, I think that'll work, eh? That'll do, pig. That'll do. All right, so you got the USD, Aussie USD. Is that correct? I guess I should also ask if you have sound. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, bears. Any bears on this thing? This is this week's sell zone for bears. And for bears, this is this week's target. Huh. Well, now what are you going to do? Your week's over and it's Tuesday. That sucks. Don't you hate making 5 days worth of money in one day? Yep. So as we get closer and closer to the support, one thing you could look for, now don't bet on it, But one thing you can look for, because it's early in the week, is a gradual retracement back to the central. Okay, don't bet on it, but you can look for it. Okay? And it doesn't say up now, does it? So what could you look for? Are there any psychological levels in there? How about 75.50? That's a midpoint psych. So might as well come down, hit the 43, and then maybe start turning north. Okay. So prepare for it. No, 75 is way too far down. You're in a world of hurt if you're down at 75. Okay. You got to stay in the green zone. If you breach it and you're down here, there's something else massively going on. Okay. For the bears that sold last week, huh? They're feeling good now, but that means down here they're going to want to take profit. I don't mind the US dollar getting strong. That's full show. Seems like it might be a downtrend. What do you think? This was all created by Stevens, Governor Stevens. We are sort of in here. He says, no, it's not worth 102. It's worth 92. It dropped just like that. And then it retraced back up, and he says, no. It's not worth 92. It's worth 82. Which is about here. And then they cut interest rates even further. Dropped us down to basically 72, let's call it. Amazing, though. This move here, this move here, and this move here was caused by the head of the central bank actually saying, just flat out saying it, it's not worth the current valuation. Let me tell you what I think it's worth. Literally. When it was here, he said, no, it's worth 92. Guess what happened? When it was here, he said, no, it's worth 82. Look what happened. He actually said it. Amazing. No, Charles, it's not that he was right. He created that. By saying it, it becomes the value. Imagine the CEO of a company that comes out and just talks down his stock. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it's just crazy. But were you guys trading forex back in 13 and 14? I did a lot of pound Aussie. I did a lot of Aussie Swissy. Just things I didn't normally trade in years past. But I was running out of things to short the Aussie against. What are you going to do if you're already short Aussie dollar, Aussie yen? Right. Then what? Aussie pound. Then what? Aussie Swissy. Then what? So you're struggling, right? Yeah, pound Aussie, big one, because at that time, Daniel was there. I remember that, and YJ, I remember being there. You guys may not know YJ, But I remember YJ, if you asked him, he'd say it was a hot, rainy night that particular day. But that's a big but. Here, yeah, we started buying. We bought this, and then it came down, and we bought that. Okay, Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. Le Fletulumum. Now in here, Aussie started to fall. I think that's sort of the first wave of Governor Stevens talking it down. And then in here, the IMF expanded their positive outlook for the UK. This is all before Brexit, of course. This collapse here is Brexit. Okay, but in here, the IMF gave the big thumbs up to the UK economy. So it was just loufle. Loufle tout le monde. But that was definitely partially Governor Stevens giving you free money. Okay. So you contrast this with the Aussie dollar. Euro dollar's done basically nothing. Huh. Could be the Aussie losing value, huh? What do you think? You guys remember the plan? Bulls would buy in here, but not really down here. But you could, but you got to keep an eye. If it flips, you got you're golden. If you're a bear, you want to sell here. So maybe one reason it's stuck is that it's not a good trade right now for anybody. Yeah, Richard, I can imagine that's true. Just everyone overreacted to Brexit. Sure. Okay. Yeah, going back to the setup. This is the sell zone for bears. This was the buy zone for bulls. Doesn't really look like a buy zone. You could look here and do the S to R trade if you're a bull. Okay. If you're a bear and you're selling now, you're being foolish. You'd have to ask yourself, what kind of idiot would sell at a double bottom? Okay. So it either breaks, and it doesn't matter. You don't break. It doesn't break through because bears are selling. What creates the big move to the downside? I mean, obviously there's often an acceleration, right, when you get through support, but it's not bears, right? So what's actually happening if it does this and it just takes off? We can't be profit taking if it's falling. It wouldn't be yen buy. No, I'm telling you, it's not people selling. No, they can't by selling. I mean trading it down. If it breaks, the bullish stop loss, thank you. For the bulls that are doing what they want to do, what do they want to do if you're a bull? You want to buy where? At support. Where's support? How about the double bottom at the weekly support one? Will a bull buy that? Yes. Of course they'll buy it. What else are they going to do? They wanted to buy it up here, but they didn't get an entry. And where they put their stops? Right in here. So if it falls through support, all of a sudden you get this acceleration. Well, the bulls are long, so their stop losses are short to offset their longs. All of a sudden you get this sell, 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 and it takes off to the downside. But don't misinterpret that as selling. Okay? If you were going to sell, you need to sell high, not at support. That's a dumb place to sell. And even if it breaks down, don't say, oh man, I should have sold it. And then, see, Wayne, I can wait for it to fall 3 candles and then sell. No, 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 you can't. Be my guest, but don't put my money to the test. All right, stupid oil. Okay. So what's going to happen today, eh? Okay, here's what's going to happen. Uh, 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 uh. How do I know that that's going to happen? Yeah, because I did my analysis. Because I said so. Because I'm a bear. That's it. Right? Think of it. What's my trade plan for the week as a bear? Try to figure out what the rest of the market is thinking. Just try to figure it out. They're a bear. What's the plan? How about sell it here? If it breaks above this, it's going to go quite a bit higher, probably the M4. Okay? But bears are definitely selling there. I said yesterday the bears would sell here. And I think I set it up for a double top lower low, didn't I? Didn't we talk about something like this yesterday? Yeah, I thought so. Now New York's opening, so it's going to spike up and then, like this. And if I'm wrong, it'll go higher, but I won't be in it. Right? So if it goes higher, who cares? Cool. Okay. Where should a bull buy? Okay. Somewhere in there, I stink. Hmm? Don't you stink? Smell like a plan? Yep. You know, Now, I think if you really wanted to be a bull, you had to consider 50. Right. I mean, look, 50's here. Right? You'd have to consider that. I mean, come on. Right? So you got to have some flexibility. It doesn't have to be the weekly support. I think most people can tell it's $50. Lots of people trade that way. I mean, even institutional investors, right? Morgan Stanley does things like that, like sell the euro dollar at 106 and put the stop above 1010. And like, dude, are you even looking at a chart? Are you just making this up, Morgan Stanley? No, we've done detailed analysis. So these big, you could just see someone saying, "Hey, where do you want to buy oil?" 50 bucks. Is that right? Is that the right answer? Yeah. Okay, Morgan Stanley. Yeah, good job. I think you guys should work for a big bank. I think they need you. They need you real bad. Hey, by the way, congratulations to South Africa for achieving a milestone that has been unreachable and unattainable over the last 17 years. South Africa is back to junk status. Yeah, congratulations. Junk status. Taken 17 years to get it down to that, but, you know, stuck with it. Well, right. Pretty Boys is the whole country or the currency? What's the difference? Yeah. So, anyways, a diamond in the junk. Right. So, anyways, yeah, it's if you bought a, a South African treasury, it would be considered a junk bond. Yeah. Now that doesn't typically happen to a country because they could always, you know, raise money, raise taxes, right? But I don't know if people pay taxes in South Africa. I'm not being like facetious or anything. I'm really not sure what percentage of the people pay taxes. So here's that Aussie. Remember, Aussie dollar already hit the weekly target, but euro dollar did almost nothing. Look at this. Look at the drop, retracement, roll reversal, central pivot down. Okay. So here's the sell zone, breakout retracement. Look at down to the pivot, retracement, down, boom. Once again, it's only Tuesday, but we've hit the weekly target. Do not bet that this is going to go up. Don't do stupid things like, Wayne told me it's going to counter trend trade here. No, you can look for that. But there's something unusual. Often when you get a counter trend trade, you see like everything, all currencies have moved. Right here, I just see like Aussie dollar weakness. So it doesn't have to counter trend. Like, who's going to buy it? It's not the market falling. It's specifically Aussie. So you got to be careful. Okay. Again, here's the sell zone last week, right? Amazing, right? Here's the sell zone 2 weeks ago. The target's supposed to be here. Oy vey. Sell zone the next week. Okay. Target's down here, which we're kind of hitting now. Sell zone this week. Pretty amazing, huh? Going back here, this is the buy zone, the target. Inside week, nothing happened. Tricky one here. But look at that. Holy smokes. Loufle. So anyways, out of selfish reasons, I hope the South African rand falls even farther so I can go visit and spend less and less money. It's only rand. What a beautiful country to visit, though, huh? Boom. So anyways, beautiful trading, huh? There you go. S&P cuts South Africa to junk. Whoop, whoop, whoop. More good publicity, South Africa. Come on, South Africa. Now, the interesting thing, even back when I was in university, I worked in a nonprofit organization. And I remember the leadership at that time above me went to South Africa. And, I'm a young man. I'm like 20. And they're like, oh, South Africa is amazing. The people are awesome. The culture is awesome. The food is awesome. The music is awesome. The environment is awesome. The nature is awesome. Everything is awesome, right? Everybody loves South Africa. And then later on in life, back when I was doing venture capital work, one of my board members, she said she was going to South Africa. And I'm like, oh, great. That sounds wonderful. Tell me about your trip. What are you going to do? Oh, well, we got like first class on Virgin Airlines. I'm like, what? Right. And then actually, I was hearing the story after. So, anyways, so she got on the airplane with her husband. They got massages and stuff on the airplane. Like, oh, wow. I just like being on airplanes, right? They get there and they had these tents out in the middle of out in the middle of the animals, basically. And they'd set up these tents, and the tents had hardwood floors and, dresser drawers for her and silver brushes so she could comb her hair at night. Like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, it was nice. They're like, we love South Africa. So anyways, long story short, everyone I know that's gone to South Africa loves South Africa. I just wish it was better for the South Africans, huh? All right. Yeah, maybe. Hey, Ryan. Yeah. All right. So I'm just marking, oops, right, marking the areas of concern. You can't buy it. You see just these basic rules I teach you? I mean, I know they're basic, but I also know you used to break them. So they're simple, but they're important. Like if you were going to be buying, you should have bought down in here, right? You just know now that we're up here, some idiot's going to buy it, and maybe it even does go up even further. But you don't want those pips, even if it does go up. It, you're risk averse, right? So even if it does go up, you could say, "Wow, it's amazing that that thing went up like that." But really, it stops being triggered, right? It's not really institutional investors buying. It's bears that were a bit too aggressive and got stopped out, right? Right? You know what I'm talking about? Noki falling with the oil. Whereas Noki would track Brent, not WTI. Then maybe we look for a rollover. I mean, you can't buy it, right? So it only leaves you the other opportunity to like maybe look for resistance, right? Maybe. I'd rather look for it up here. Okay. Of course, play the monthlies with it as well. Right? Like you couldn't possibly buy that, could you? So you got to look and say, I wonder if it's going to drop in reverse. What do you think? Is it flipping and reversing? It's up to you, New York, New York. Well, you need crude to go up if that's going to happen. Look at all that consolidation, huh? It's up to you, New York, New York. So, Daniel, I'm really hoping to buy you dinner next week, but I still don't know, man. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but it's true. So, hopefully, you got the time. Oh, yeah. Guess we should look at that, eh, Michael? Yeah, thank you. I've been too busy to even do stuff like that. Yeah, me too, Daniel. A friend of mine has a friend who has a friend. but I know the secret handshake, so I could walk in and say, hey, I know you, I know this guy, and I know your old friends, and he's good friends with this guy who I also know very well. And so therefore, I know two guys that know you very well, so you must know me in a weird way. He's in Hong Kong and he's running a hedge fund, and it's, you know, you have your typical ultra high net worth individual, but what about atypical, not a hot, ultra high net worth, right? The ones that have already invested into 10 hedge funds. What, right? What could you possibly offer an ultra high net worth individual that's already invested into real estate and gold and oil and this hedge fund and that hedge fund and this opportunity and that opportunity? How do you give this guy or gal uncorrelated returns? Because no matter what your investment is, like, hey, let's get into forex. Well, he's probably already into forex and he's invested all around the world, which is already exposed to foreign exchange risk. He's like, well, I could squeeze that in, but I already got that, and it's going to be correlated with these other things, so it just will increase my risk, right? So what do you offer somebody like that? And so his hedge fund invests into whiskey. That's it. They have, I don't know what it is, 300 or 400 million, 500 million. I don't know how much they've raised. I don't I have no idea. Um, but all they buy is whiskey. How cool is that? Yeah. So like they'll buy a bottle of whiskey for the fund. It's all in storage, in and fully insured and all that kind of stuff. You'd never drink it, obviously, and they might spend $200,000 on one bottle. But the cool thing is, it may have sold for 300,000 earlier, and some collector needed to raise some cash, so they're selling some inventory. Oh, look, an armadillo! Cool. Look at him. Cool. So needs to raise some cash, so maybe sells 5 or 6 bottles, and various things. And this group will come in and say, well, we'll give you 200,000 for that one, we'll give you 300,000 for that one, and this is only worth 50K. And they put it all together and like, all right, here's 600. Just give us these bottles. They buy it below market, but they're liquid. They can just buy it whenever, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, Charles. I'm thinking, well, I might want to buy into this fund, but I'd like some free samples. Yeah, John's a big investor. Cornered the market on Johnny Walker Black. All right, so anyways, here we are. Measure the next level, right? Just go through the motions. I mean, I swear, if you get used to just going through the motions, you get less and less surprised by the market because you know where the support and resistance is, right? Like, what's the ginormous surprise that you didn't see coming? Oh my God, that top just jumped out of nowhere. So I'm just leaving it. Might be for next month. Might be the end of the year. Gotta measure these things. Is that right, Charles? That's funny. Yeah, he was just walking through my azaleas, probably fertilizing them, huh? Getting them ready for masters. So we've had unbelievably beautiful weather all spring. Now it's raining and cold. The Masters tomorrow is family day, but they're probably out doing practice rounds right now. It's cold and wet. Like what? But maybe it'll get really nice by Thursday, and and things won't be all dried out, so they'll have nice soft greens. Maybe the flowers will be super blooming and stuff. So maybe it's all good. It's such a big tournament that they control the weather. I've heard it's been raining in Dubai recently just because they've been seeding the clouds. So maybe Augusta does that here. Anybody live in Dubai? Yeah, it's been raining for 3 or 4 days, and then then the government comes on TV and they're like, "Yeah, we spent $8 billion seeding the clouds this week." You're like, 8 billion? Like, couldn't you just suck water out of the sea and pull the salt out for less than 8 billion? But I guess ultimately it's a lot of water, right? Yeah, it rains apparently 3 days in a row if you seed it with $8 billion. Yeah, totally. Raining money. Oh, I just got fired. What? That's the best thing about watching TV with with the sound off. You can add your own words to people. Well, it's all good here in South Africa. Yeah, no, it's all right. We're going to fire all the cabinet and stuff, and we're going to spend our money on huge palaces for the leaders that remain in government. We don't really care about the people. We're just going to take their money and build super pools and buy giant airplanes and Lambos and Ferraris. And yeah, I don't know why everyone should everyone should just join the government here in South Africa. Right? Well, it's great, right? You see what she's saying? So you're telling me if I just run for government, yeah, I want to run for government too, that you could just become a billionaire. Like, this is good, right? He's like, so I'm going to move to South Africa and join the government. He's so good at his maths. Now the funny thing is, maths is actually a word. I watched a documentary on maths. All right, so too much fun, I suppose. Too much fun. Let me fix this. My South African brothers and sisters are getting sick of my jokes. I don't blame them. All right, let's do it this way. Well, yeah, it's math, right? There's mathematics, but there are different types of math. So the documentary I watched was the history of maths, going from arithmetic, right, all the way, to, obviously the geometry came along, and then you're going to look at more like calculus, so on and so forth, physics. All right. Yeah. Cool. So this is gold. Again, there's last week's top. We hit our goal on Monday, so it's supposed to decline back to the central, which it did. This was part of the swing class. Amazing. So if you're a gold buyer, if you're a buyer of gold, where's your swing long? Swing low. And you're looking for that on a Monday, right? I mean, it's sick, isn't it? It's just sick. It's ridiculous. How could it be? Okay. How could it be so perfect? Now, yeah, this is telling me if you get to M4, you're pretty lucky. Seems very heavy up here, doesn't it? But it's supposed to go to M4. I wouldn't bet that it's going to break above that. Now, it might, but I wouldn't bet that. Okay. I mean, just sick, right? Ugh. That's just ridiculous. Now we got to be careful up here. I mean, it's dangerous, but if it spikes up, you probably want to take some profit, right? Because you can see where we are now is already becoming a problem, and you can see why. And the target we're supposed to hit based on theory. Now remember, theory doesn't necessarily overlap reality, but we're supposed to get up here. But the reality is there's unusual amounts of resistance right at the R1. So, yeah, make a decision. And I don't want you to have hope as part of your strategy. I want you to say things like, I identify that risk is increasing up here above 1260. Therefore, I will ... Okay? There's no hope. Not in your strategy anyways, right? And I would watch this area here, faux show. Oh, look at that no take off, man. Look at that. Oh, oh. Mm. Okay. So, anyways, that. We did all this. I don't know if I have anything else on this setup. I still don't have things set up properly. Ooh, Jens. There's a place called Kokomo. There's a place where traders go to cry their losses away. And they call it Forex Town, where the losing traders stay. Going down to loser town. All right, hang on. Let's clean this sucker up. 3, 2, 1. Boom! That just happened. Put this on with the foursies. Now let's put these on the foursies. 4-H club for everybody. You cry my troubles away. Let's see. Counter trend. No. Counter trend. Hook, hook. Well, or look at it another way. If you yesterday had shorted here and here, and here. Well, actually, let me do this again. I got to clear all that. Okay, let's do it again. If you had shorted yesterday here, and here, and here, nope. Yeah, here, and nope. So out of these 6 currency pairs, you're looking for congruency. They're all supposed to fall. Yesterday, you had 4 opportunities to be in these pairs, and your target was the green zone, the green zone, the green zone, and the green zone. This is just since yesterday. 45, or sorry, 85.5 to 83.5. So that's 200 pips. 39.70, 37.30. Wow. So let's just pretend it's 39.70 to 37.70. That's actually more like 250 pips. Let's do it that way. Okay, this one 84 to 82 and some change. Let's call it $1.75. Now I'll cut $1.50, just so the math works out. And then we'll call that 78 down to 77. So we'll call that 100 pips. So since yesterday, 100, 250, 500, 700 pips potential just on the yens. 700 pips total. Doing one thing. Okay, you ready for this? Doing one thing. This is just a typical weekly swing strategy. You already knew you wanted to buy the yen. How'd you come to that conclusion? I don't know. It's up to you. Continuation of repatriation. Whatever. Risk off. Whatever. You made a decision. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Yeah! I never opened myself this way. Life is ours. We live it all, right? You made a decision. Your decision was you wanted to be bear on the yen pairs. Cool. So as a bear, this is your sell zone. This is your sell zone. This is all predefined in strategy. Sell zone, all predefined. You can see the breakouts and pullbacks. There's all kinds of entries. This is a sell zone. Problem is, this is, oh, actually, you could have sold this one. We have to include this one. I didn't see this properly for some reason. But actually, that's a sell as well. All these words I don't just see. So anyways, you can keep going. That's a sell zone. And this is the sell zone way up here. So you didn't get the euro. It's just so heavily oversold that it's just oversold and not the price you want. So anyways, I'm just saying, just saying, if you had a bias and a basic strategy for a Monday, right? Okay. All right, so a question here, do you dump them all, full lots and all that? No, you got to manage your budget appropriately. But one of the best ways to do it is to see the correlation, okay? And say, all right, I'm going to dump that one. Then you jam your stop. And then you get yourself in another one, and then another one, and then another one. Okay? Down, sell, all right? So you're short in here, you're short in here, short here, because these are 4-hour candles, guys. I mean, look, you only had 16 hours to do this, right? Oh, Wayne, that's too fast. Just saying, it's all possible. How you do it is very individualized. But if you were trading these on a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, and you right, and you notice they're all dropping. Look at the breaks, guys. It's all happening at the same time. So yeah, 5-minute, jam the stop, right? 15-minute charts. I mean, it's all catchable. This is over the course of 4 hours. I'm sure you could have caught 2 or 3 or all 4 or 5 of these because that was what you were doing. Right, it is. It's one trade I did. That's the whole point. So if you had a bias and you were trading, you were there, hot to go, HOTTOGO, London Open, everything's breaking to the downside. You could have, over the course of 2 or 3 or 4 hours, as they were all dropping, found a 5-minute or 15-minute opportunity or cycle to drop a trade, jam a stop, find another trade, jam that stop, find another trade, jam that stop. But it's the same idea. And you just seed your clouds. Okay, but if you were a bear, you know on Monday when these markets opened, that's a sell zone. 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 And this one didn't get the pullback. But it's factual. It's factual. You know that if you're a bear on the yen pairs, that you need to be ready and sell, right? Sell in here and start looking for it. So which one do you sell first? Well, that's where your smaller time frame technical analysis comes in. Breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, right? I mean, there's all kinds. And then, of course, are you bearish on Kiwi? Yes. Are you bearish on Aussie? Yes. Are you bearish on yen? But it's so bearish you didn't get a setup. You were not able to trade euro yen. It was too bearish. There is such a thing. Okay. Are you bearish on USD yen? No. That's why I just ignored it when I went through it. Why would I sell USD yen? It could move less than 100 pips, where everything else is moving 200 pips, right? So, like, you're not going to sell that. It's too bearish. You're not going to sell, right? This porridge is too hot, and this porridge is too cold, right? So, if you had trade plans, remember, I talk a lot about intent. And I just trained a whole group of people to walk to their charts at a certain time, on a certain day, looking for a certain pattern, and I'm certain they would have caught these if they were already bullish on the Japanese yen. And if you were wrong, I doubt you got any serious setups. So if you were right, you made a ton of money, or pips, let's say, and lost a very little bit because you were wrong. So you're terribly, terribly, terribly right. We're a tiny, tiny, tiny bit wrong. That's good trading, right? And now what are you doing if you control your behavior? You're looking for the counter trend. Okay? So going back to the answer to the question, do you trade them all? Well, ideally you do. Do you trade them all full standard lot all at the same time? No. Do you cut your lot size into 5 pieces or 4 pieces? Right? Here, and here instead of full, right? Quarter lot, quarter lot, quarter lot, quarter lot. Yeah, you can do that. But more likely, your entries are timed differently. Like you would have entered the drop, the pullback to the central. That you would have traded, but either earlier or later, right? And this broke differently. So, right, you would off a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. Yeah, but this whole area here, right? Think about this. Here's London, and you were thinking all day, I want to sell M3. I want to sell an M3. Look, it opened on an M3. So you're just banking like, I want to sell M3. I want to sell M. I want to sell M. I want to sell M3. I mean, no joke. No joke. You're spinning around in your chair. I want to sell M3. I want to sell M3. I want to sell M3. And then London Open M3 holds. It drops through the support, traces back. Oh my God, you didn't sell that, and you were there, and you were staring. If you had intent, for 100%, you would have traded that. You would have caught it, and I mean, I just know it. There's no way you could miss that if you were there and prepared with the strategy and bias in mind. That's it, right? And so there's one entry, but you know, there most of the other yen pair, right? A couple hours later, it's off. Now your stop's at break even again, right? And maybe you get another trade. Maybe you do the half lot size, a quarter lot size, take this one and be more aggressive on the other ones because you know if this breaks, they all break. What's the likelihood pound yen's going to go down or up? What's the likelihood Aussie? Oh, no. You got your full budget back. So, yeah.